Hare Krishna. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita this morning. Are you all able to see the screen of Chaitanya Charitamrita? Lord
Yes.
Krishna. Okay. Jai Jai Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So reading on, Lord Sri Krishna and his plenary expansions are all in the category of the Lord himself, the energetic absolute truth, whereas his devotees, his eternal associates, are his energies. Now, the explanation is given, the relationship is given between Krishna and the living entity. So Krishna and all his expansions, the Vishnu Tattva. You know, Krishna has so many expansions, Balaramji, Narayan, the Purusha avatars, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, Mahavishnu, Lord Ramachandra, Varahadev, Matsya, Nishingadev, so many, so many. So all this is the supreme absolute. This is the absolute truth. This is all Vishnu Tattva. This is all the Lord himself. And his devotees, his eternal associates are his energies. The energy and energetic are fundamentally one, but since their functions are differently exhibited, they are simultaneously different also. So we have to understand that the living entities, we are Krishna's energy. Yeah, just like the sun, and then the sunshine. So they both can be, the sunshine is called as the sun, but it's not the sun. The heat in the sunshine is not as the heat of the sun, right? If the whole sun was to come in our room, the whole room would burn. But that doesn't happen when the sunshine comes, because the heat is so much more lesser. So thus the absolute truth is manifested in diversity in one unit. This philosophical truth, which is pursuant to the Vedanta Sutra, is called Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva, or the conception of simultaneous oneness and difference. So Lord Chaitanya, this was his specific contribution, Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. What happened was, there was Varna Sharma system happening very nicely. Everybody was following the Vedic scriptures very nicely. And then comes the Kali Yuga. Then with the Kali Yuga, people started misusing the Vedas. The Brahmana class fell down. They started saying, we are Brahmanas, but they were only Brahmanas in the name only, not doing the activities of Brahmana, not properly guiding the other parts of the society. And then people started misusing the Vedas. The Veda says no meat eating, but there became slaughterhouses everywhere, because Vedas do allow meat eating only at a specific, like for example, once a month or something, depending on the position of the moon. And that also you have to offer it in sacrifice. You have to go to the temple, you have to say some prayers, say the prayers that I'm killing you now, but in the next life you can kill me, all that. But people didn't do that, but just saying, oh, the Vedas allow meat eating. There was rampant slaughterhouses everywhere. To stop that, Buddha came. Krishna came as Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha is Krishna's incarnation. He came, and because people were misusing the Vedas, so what did Lord Buddha say? Don't follow the Vedas. The Vedas is wrong, just follow me. There is nothing. Lord Buddha never spoke anything clearly about God, because nobody asked him at that time. He didn't mention anything clearly about God, but he just said nirvana, that everything is zero. That after you leave the body, everything is zero. But if you follow me, you will be get the highest destination. So he came to do that, just to stop the people. And he told the people to follow the follow the moral codes. Again, brought back the society to no meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, all that. He again brought the society back to goodness because it had degraded so much. Now, then what happened is, then Shankaracharya came. Shankaracharya is an incarnation of Lord Shiva. Krishna sends him to in Kali Yuga, and Shankaracharya's specific mission is that now people have stopped believing in the Vedas. So, to bring the people back to the faith in the Vedas, that was his mission. That okay, the Vedas are important and they are the absolute, and we should follow the Vedas. Now, when Buddha came, he said everything is zero. There's nothing exists after you leave the body. Then, so gradually, you see, because once somebody's consciousness is become very degraded, we have to gradually bring it up. So what did Shankaracharya say? That everything is one. He brought the concept that there is God, but he said, okay, we are all God. You, me, I, everybody is God. And that was Shankaracharya's mission. Krishna told Lord Shiva to do it. Shankaracharya is Lord Shiva himself. And why did he do it? There were two reasons. One is to at least bring the people's faith back into the Vedas, and like from zero, they couldn't come directly to two. That would be too much. So, okay, one, we are all God, to just have a concept that God is there. And also because Lord Chaitanya is going to come, and Krishna wants to keep out all the atheists. He does not want the atheists to get to know him because the atheists don't want to know him. So somebody who don't want to know him, Krishna always puts a covering. So this impersonalism is a covering for the people who don't want to know Krishna. Okay, so that was Shankaracharya's contribution. Then, now the scene is being set for Lord Chaitanya to come. Then Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago. And he said, not that there is one, there is two. There is two. Because if there is love, there is the lover and the beloved. There has to be an object. And so the object of love is Krishna, and the lover is the living entity. So achintya beda abeda tattva, simultaneous, one and different. That yes, we are same like Krishna, but only in quality. Krishna is Satchidanand, we are Satchidanand. Just as a drop of ocean water, if we put in the laboratory test, the composition will be the same if we do the laboratory test of the water of the ocean. It is the same. It doesn't matter. The composition doesn't matter in a drop or the full ocean, but the size is very different. So same for us. We are also Satchidananda. Krishna is also Satchidananda, but Krishna is unlimited and we are tiny, infinitesimal. We are Anu, very, very small, and Krishna is Vibhu, unlimitedly great. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Gotten lost?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is because otherwise all along people were not able to understand who is the living entity and who is God. So Lord Chaitanya came to specifically give this relationship, that we have an eternal relationship with Krishna. We are tiny parts and parcel of Krishna. We are his parts, and we have a loving relationship with him. So in the latter portion of this chapter, the transcendental position of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and that of Srila Nityanand Prabhu are described with reference to the above theistic facts. So this is the Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Simultaneously one, we are one like Krishna. We are one because we are the same in quality. The quality is the same, Satchidananda. And difference. Why different? Because our size is totally different. Our capability, our capacity is totally different. It's like a big flame of fire, big fire, and a tiny spark of fire. They both are fire, but the capacity is so different, right? Or like a tiny speck of gold and the gold in a gold mine. They both are gold, but the size is totally different. So that is what our position is. So when people say that we are Krishna, well, we are tiny, tiny gods. You know, we are tiny, we are part of Krishna. We are like tiny, tiny gods. And so Krishna is supremely independent. And so we have this independence also. Because Krishna has all the qualities. And so we also have his qualities, but in very minute quantity, very minute quantity. Okay, so text 1. Vande Gurun Isha Bhaktan Isham Ishyava Takaran Tat Prakasham Chatak Chaktihi Krishna Chaitanya Samshnakam. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the spiritual masters, the devotees of the Lord's incarnations, his plenary portions, his energies, and the primeval Lord himself, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins the first verse by offering offering obeisances. That's his humility. He's not saying directly, I'm such a great writer, I know Lord Chaitanya, I'm going to write his pastimes. No, he's first offering obeisances to all the gurus, to the Guru Parampara, to the devotees, the Lord's incarnations, plenary portions, his energies, and Sri Krishna himself, because Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Suhridito Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitra Shando Tamonudo. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, who are like the sun and moon. They have arisen simultaneously on the horizon of Gauda to dissipate the darkness of ignorance and thus wonderfully bestow benediction upon all. So Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they are compared to the sun and moon. In our experience, we don't see the sun and moon rising simultaneously. But here, they are both compared that sun and moon have risen together. Why? To dispel the darkness of ignorance. Ignorance is full of darkness, tamas, dark. You know, so they have come to show us, to tell us what's the truth and how to achieve this truth, how to be situated in the truth. So we can stop here for today, or what? It's 46. Yeah, let's stop here for today.
Okay, thank you.
Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Shla Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.